Good afternoon. Welcome to Deep Thoughts While Driving. Pulling into my parking spot here. The radio station seems to be rather louder than normal at the moment. Interesting. There we go. Problem solved. Shut it off. So, the thought for the drive to work is obsession. I say that because I'm having some issues with obsession myself. I'm rereading a series of books that I've read before. There's movies based on the books. A couple weeks ago, my one co-worker, the movies were on and at work for the 3 days we were working together, and he's a motorcycle. She's like, "Oh, I love these movies, they're cute, and we're talking about them, everything." I'm like, "Yeah, well, the books are way better." She's like, "Oh, you read the books?" Yes, I did. So, of course, I'm kind of ranting and raving because the books make the movies look like a joke, as usual. So, long story short, I'm like doing these, telling her the comparisons between the, how they're missing details in the movie that the books have and that, and been talking about these books off and on with a couple other co-workers. We all, got in common the kind of books we like to read and stuff. It's the Twilight series, okay? Yes, sparkly vampires, I know, whatever. The movies aren't bad, and I like, vampire movies, so I gotta watch it. Then, have to poke fun at the sparkly vampires. Excuse the expression, but how gay? Like, seriously? Like, just, Anyhow. And if you think my reaction is bad, my wife's reaction is way, way worse. Because she's done, like, some serious research on vampires. Back in high school days, she actually, did research and did reports on vampires in history, and the tales of vampires and how they're different and stuff. Quite interesting, actually. It's considered mythology, but under the guise of mythology, the different stories, every culture has some sort of vampiric or blood drinking creature in it. Kind of interesting. Also shapeshifters too. So, that whole kind of stuff and supernatural stuff is interesting. So, of course, the movies, and then, all the books. So, of course, we'll read the books and they're better. Anyhow, I have been rereading the books because of the whole talking about it with the couple of co-workers. It's been in my mind, so I had to reread them. And I can't seem to put I'm on the third book. And it's at a point where it's getting really interesting, and big fight coming up, and I can't stop reading the book. The wife's like, "You're obsessed." I'm like, "Yep, but at least I'm reading something." She's like, "Yeah, true." We had quite an in-depth conversation about books last night with my co-workers. I like Anne McCaffrey, my all-time #1 favorite author. It sucks that she's passed, and it sucks that her son has taken over writing about the worlds that she's created. It's not the same. You can tell that a lot of the stories I've read, I haven't read any of his newest stuff, but the last ones I read years ago kind of almost killed the enjoyment, because these are the bedtime stories his mom told him, and he grew up with the worlds that his mother's created. And he's grieving. He's writing novels about her worlds, but it's not the same. You can feel his grief in the stories. No matter how dark things got in her worlds, there was always light at the end of the rainbow, or end of the tunnel. You could always, no matter how dark things, there was still light. You could see it. You knew it was there. With him, his writing, it's got to be there. You anticipate that it's going to be there, because any book that goes through darkness and ends in darkness and that's it, it's not going to go very far, because it's all doom and gloom and depressing. but there is some light, but not. It's a 2-watt light bulb compared to like a 30 megawatt bulb. Kind of difference between him and his mom. And like I said, I haven't read any of his newest stuff. The most recent stuff was probably 2 or 3 years after, that published after his mother passed. So they were being written while he was still grieving. So in all fairness, I haven't checked out his newest stuff, and well, probably in about 5 years. Jeez, wow, I didn't realize it was that long since I read any of his newest writings. So it may have the same flavor and, you know, the lightness and brightness that his mom's stuff has, but I just go back to reading the old books because I haven't had money to buy new books. Really, I had, you know, more important things to spend money on, you know, kids and everything, wife and kid, grandbaby and all that. And then it just kind of didn't have the whole interest in reading his stuff. I guess I was prejudiced because of the way his writing was. I have to check out one of his newest books. Maybe if I can find it on an ebook or something and check it out. I don't know. Anyhow, so, you know, obviously very animated conversation on my point because I'm very passionate about the author, and I'm very passionate about the books and the worlds that she creates and everything. So, you know, yeah, I can read her stuff over and over and over and over again because I love the way she writes. So yeah, but not just books and reading books. Oh, those are leggings. Wow. I wasn't sure what the young lady walking along was wearing. It was kind of oddly colored leggings. Anyhow, squirrel. So obsession. I have a friend who was talking to a individual, and if you watch the video and you know who I'm talking about, that's all I got to say to you. Anyhow, so this individual was talking to someone else and got really obsessed with them, which is funny because it's someone you're talking to online. You have never met them in real life face to face, and they live in the States, and you never will meet them face to face, and there's quite an age difference between the two of them. And then my friend got really obsessed, and the other person I don't know what happened specifically, how it happened, but they're not talking anymore. So my friend is now in the deepest, darkest pit of depression and on a hunger strike because of the way this individual feels, and at one point was actually suicidal and everything. And I deal with depression myself on a daily basis, so I'm not knocking how they feel, but it's in the book I'm reading, the one character is really obsessed with another character. Well, there's a third character who's obsessed with her. This whole love triangle, because they're all obsessed with one another in oddball ways. And in the Twilight series, Edward is obsessed with keeping Bella alive. Excuse me. And Bella is obsessed with becoming a vampire so she can be with Edward forever. And Jacob is obsessed with Bella because he loves her more than air itself. And the whole love triangle and everything, it's like everybody's obsessed with everybody else in a different way, and it's just blah. Like, really? Seriously? Obsession can be a very powerful thing, and it can be a very, very destructive thing. I've dealt with it myself. I got highly obsessed with certain things in my life, where it was the be all and end all. Some stuff was on the internet, some stuff was books, some stuff was video games, different things. And obsession can destroy a life, and in some cases it can save a life. Stop right in front of me, dude. Wow. Almost didn't have enough time to stop without hitting the guy. Being obsessed with certain things has actually saved my sanity and my soul and brought me back, because I got obsessed with someone who I'm married to now. And that obsession brought me out of the deepest, darkest depression I've been in my life. So, obsession isn't always a bad thing. Something to think about. So, I'm at work. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Take it easy. Have a good one. Catch you later. Stay home. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And, yeah. Later.